Like and subscribe right now or you're going to have bad luck for the rest of the week. Usually, it's not hard to guess what's inside a creature's stomach. Typically, it's some pretty gross, somewhat digested plants or other animals, all mixing and sloshing together and, okay, we'll stop. Yet, every now and then though, it's not apparent just what something is that ends up in an animal's belly. Though researchers and analysts have found enough such oddities not to be surprised, they still are whenever such weirdness comes up. Do you know what one of the weirdest and possibly most disturbing things is that's found in some animal's stomach now and then? Humans! And that's what we're talking about today. Number 10. Finger in snapping turtle. Not too long ago, the St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana Sheriff's Office uploaded on Facebook a message that a Bush, Louisiana man had communicated with them after he discovered a finger inside a turtle as he was handling and cleaning the creature. The turtle had been captured on a trot line in a stream in the western section of the area. As expected, the finger was handed over to the St. Tammany Parish Coroner's Office for investigation. But while both offices tried to find out who the finger belonged to, neither could. In the end, no further information was gained on the case. Number 9. Andi Aso Erang. One day, alarmed locals sliced open a massive crocodile to find out what had become of the arms and legs of a killed angler. 36-year-old Andi Aso Erang had disappeared just a few days prior, as he was gathering mollusks in a waterway close to his home in East Kutai, Borneo. His family was devastated when they discovered his severed body on the banks of the Kabuhayan River a few days later. As Andi's left leg and lower arms were missing, locals began hunting for the crocodile. Only 30 minutes later, they found the beast, and the locals shot off 5 rounds from a rifle into its 1-meter-wide body. Number 8. The Lost Fisherman. On February 11, 2021, 69-year-old Andrew Hurd from Queensland, Australia, was fishing in the Gayunda Creek. This was an activity he'd enjoyed many times before with no issue, so he assumed that day would be the same as any other. But then, he didn't return home that evening. Naturally, his wife felt that something was wrong, so she called the police. As the police checked through the river, they found Andrew's dinghy, which was horribly damaged. It seemed like some big animal, like a crocodile, had possibly attacked and damaged the boat. After exhaustive searching, they still hadn't found Andrew, but they did see a crocodile lurking nearby. Suspicious, the authorities captured it 2 days after, cut it open, and, indeed, they found the remaining parts of the lost angler. Number 7. James Bartley. There's a tale of a man named James Bartley who was swallowed by a sperm whale in the late 1800s. He was on a whaling campaign off the Falkland Islands when this event allegedly happened. For a day and a half, Bartley was alive in the belly of the whale, his skin blanched by the gastric juices, and he becoming visually impaired for the remainder of his life. By certain claims, though, he would have been able to return to work in around 3 weeks. He lived for 18 more years, with his tombstone in Gloucester stating, "James Bartley, a modern-day Jonah." According to records, Bartley had been lost, but had then been found on the whaling vessel, the Star of the East. Though it has been shown that such a vessel did exist and may have been near the Falklands at that time, it wasn't a whaling vessel, and its log did not include a crew member named James Bartley. Still, the most fascinating thing about Bartley's story is how promptly and completely it was accepted as truth. The story spread fast. To this day, no one knows if it was fact or fiction. Number 6. Watiba. 54-year-old Watiba disappeared one day while she was tending to her vegetable nursery close to her village on Muna Island in the southwest Sulawesi area. The next day, when her family went to look for her, they only found her belongings, including her shoes and a flashlight. Worried, the entire town went off to find her, but they instead discovered a snake 54 yards from her things with a massively swelled tummy. Of course, the villagers killed the snake and took it to town. At the point when they cut open the snake's paunch, they observed Tiba's body totally intact with all her garments, the locals said. Videos on certain sites can still be viewed of the snake being cut open to recover Watiba. Her nursery was located in a rough region, with caverns and cliffs around full of snakes. However, reports of pythons killing people is very uncommon. They typically eat monkeys, pigs, and different mammals smaller than humans. Number 5. Michael Ford. Florida man Michael Ford, aged 45, seemed to have been attacked by an alligator in summer 2019. However, it also seems he had died from an overdose of meth prior to the beast tearing him to pieces, as per the medical inspector's report. Ford was found face down in a trench at Fort Meade on June 27. Polk County Sheriff's agents estimated he may have suffocated to death prior to the alligator eating the man's remains. One of Ford's hands and feet were found in the animal's stomach. It is my viewpoint that Michael Glenn Ford passed on because of a methamphetamine inebriation. District Medical Examiner Stephen Nelson wrote in a post-mortem examination report acquired by NBC, "The way of death is mishap." Nelson's report also stated, "The decedent's wounds and removals did not seem to have adequate blood to recommend they were cut while alive." Number 4. Tiger shark hand. A Scottish traveler was swimming in the clear waters east of Madagascar on Saturday when he disappeared. A thorough search was performed after to find him, which included catching and cutting open tiger sharks. During the search, a post-mortem exam was carried out on one of the sharks and, horrifically, the lost man's hand was found inside of it. His wife identified the hand by the wedding ring still on one of the fingers. Since 2010, for some reason, the French island has been a magnet for shark assaults. Since 2010, there's been 11 attack fatalities by sharks, including 2 in 2021. Another instance was of a surfer that passed away when his leg was torn off, though he was in a surfing-prohibited area. In addition, an angler was killed in January. Concerning the Scottish man, UK authorities at the Foreign and Commonwealth Office declined to give full identification. But local media revealed that he was from Edinburgh and was at Reunion Island to celebrate his wife's birthday. Number 3. Ricky Ganya. 14-year-old Ricky Ganya was found inside of a 15-foot crocodile. He was assaulted by the creature while he was searching for snails, close to the waterway in Rumah Dadat, Tanjung Manis, Malaysia. First, the crocodile had jumped from the water. Then, it clasped its jaws around his foot, dragging the boy underwater. Though the boy's family reported him as missing, his aunt claimed she'd seen the crocodile attack and drag him into the water. Search groups found the animal near from where it had attacked Ganya. Of course, they eventually caught the beast and then cut it open in front of the police and the boy's family. An official from the Sarawak Fire and Rescue Operation said some dress and a few pieces of a human body were found inside the creature. The recovered body parts were sent for a post-mortem. After, the parts were taken home by the family so they could give him a proper burial. Number 2. Akbar Salubiro. After 24 hours, a missing 25-year-old Indonesian man was tracked down and discovered dead inside a python, police stated. Akbar disappeared on the island of Sulawesi after leaving to reap palm oil. During the search for Akbar, police informed BBC Indonesian that they had spotted an immense snake that they suspected had eaten the man. The reticulated python in question was estimated at 7 meters or 23 feet long. In a video, the snake was sliced open with a long blade and, sadly, Akbar's body did indeed come out, fully clothed. Reticulated pythons are among the world's longest reptiles. They usually choke their targets to death prior to swallowing them whole. But they seldom eat people, and there are infrequent reports of them killing small birds or other small creatures. The python in question here had been tracked down close to the family's Palm Manor. Mashura, a representative for the police, told BBC Indonesian they didn't track him down. However, the locals saw an unmoving python in the trench. They felt that perhaps the snake had Akbar. At the point when they cut it open, Akbar was indeed inside the snake, dead. Number 1. A human arm. Most people are afraid of sharks since they attack so violently. But for this story, things were a little different. In 1935, a tiger shark was captured near the ocean suburb of Coogee, Australia, in order to save its life. It was sent to the Coogee Aquarium Baths, where the shark was kept for public viewing. Though sharks can be a bit eccentric when in captivity, on April 25, 1935, no one expected this shark to throw up a whole human arm. Naturally, people first assumed the shark had assaulted and ripped off someone's arm. But this wasn't the case. The arm had been cut off via a blade. It had a tattoo of 2 fighters on it. After the police released a photo of the arm to the public, a man informed them that the arm belonged to his cousin, Jimmy Smith, a fighter who disappeared 2 months prior. Jimmy had been killed and his arm cut off and tossed into the water. Looks like they thought they'd been disposing of all the evidence, but that's not how events turned out. That is all for today's video. Thank you all for watching. While you're here, go ahead and click on one of these 2 videos on your screen. See you there!